What up? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And look at you. You done stumbled upon little OTB Saints, where we bring you all the latest black and gold coverage.
Who are the Saints going to draft? Who's going to be their quarterback? What does the salary cap look like? All that information and more.
Hope you enjoy it. Like, subscribe. Boys, there are 4 teams that could end up being on HBO's Hard Knocks. And, well, the New Orleans Saints are one of them, as the Jets, the Bears, the Saints, and the Commanders are all have they match these specific criteria through which HBO in the NFL can make them be on Hard Knocks, right? Mm-hmm. If you have a first-year head coach, if you have secured a playoff berth in the past 2 seasons, or if you've appeared on Hard Knocks in the past 10, then you are exempt. These 4 teams do not check any of those boxes. I want to rank him. And I want to ask the question about whether or not these Saints would actually be that interesting. First off the bat here, I mean, I think just throw the Commanders out, right? Like, are the Commanders interesting at all to anybody? Like, the Commanders are interesting from a ownership drama perspective. Yeah. But I don't know if anything the Commanders are doing on the field interests me in the slightest.
Not me. Quarterback, Sam Howell, that doesn't do anything really for me.
No.
Some of their star players don't really move the needle as well. You're right. Like, the ownership portion of it would be probably the most interesting thing. I love Ron Rivera. Truly do. He was the coordinator when I was with the Chargers. He was teammates with my father-in-law. Love him. Great human being. Not going to give you a lot.
Yeah.
Not going to give you a lot. He's not going to be Dan Campbell.
No. Yeah, it's a good point. I hadn't even really considered that. So Commanders by far feel like the worst here. I mean, and look, and then when you get to you probably get to the Saints next, right? And like, I wonder, like, I would be fascinated to see the Saints on Hard Knocks just because it's the team that we talk about and cover all the time, right? And so, like, you get unparalleled access, even if it is, like, make no mistake, Hard Knocks is not a just one-to-one. Like, the NFL's editing wing has editorial discretion here. It's going to taper the message to be as acceptable as they want it to be, but you still learn a ton that you never would otherwise. Like, Jake, if the Lions weren't on last year's Hard Knocks, you probably would have never learned to love the Lions in the way that you do.
Right. I mean, they gave different storylines that made you really appreciate different players because they fit the narrative that they were trying to push for the Lions, the grit, the toughness, which was speaking to me. And then, like, Dan Campbell and his personality and, like, the players that he was, kind of looking for in the team and just the overall toughness of it. Like, they did a really nice job of editing that together because there's been some years where I'm like, this doesn't really do it for me. I thought last year kind of brought Hard Knocks back to where it's been for a long time for me personally.
Well, and it's interesting because if the Saints were chosen this year, we would all be very excited, but I feel like the entire country would have the reaction that you just had. And it doesn't really do it for me. Like, does the country want to tune in for Derek Carr and Dennis Allen? I guess it's somewhat of a blockbuster move, right? It's not wholly without interest. It's not Sam Howell at quarterback, but it's not Aaron Rodgers. It's not Justin Fields and a Bears team that just traded for an absolute haul that'll be showing up now on Hard Knocks. So, yeah, I mean, I think the Saints got to rank 3rd on this list. Like, I just don't know. Do y'all think the country as a whole cares about what's going on in New Orleans?
I'm going to say the Saints would be a slight edge above where the Bears would be.
Oh, okay. Why is that?
I'd put Bears 3.
I guess I just go Bears 2 because they're a more storied franchise, right? Like, even though they've really struggled for a kind of a sneaky while now. But, I mean, when you're talking about, I don't know, when you think of the NFL, right, and the blue bloods of the NFL, I feel like the Chicago Bears are on that list. They've got the young quarterback in Fields who has a lot of debate over whether he's good or not. And then you make that massive trade where now you're going to have other big-time rookies coming in.
Yeah, the Bears would be much better than the Commanders. Commanders are certainly in dead last year.
Throw them out.
But, with the Saints, like, you're going to have star players that the entire country does know. The Bears, you would really have Fields. And
I guess that's true.
You're looking for another one that would, like, with the Saints, like, Carr still moves the needle, I think. Tyron certainly would. Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, and the situation, how that's going to play out.
I mean, Cam Jordan is a
Cam Jordan would be fantastic.
That's true.
In a hard knock scenario for sure.
Bring me around.
Lattimore would, I'm sure, give you something. So I think they have. Oh, bless you, Mario. You might need to check that out. I think they would give star power more than I don't know the Jets though. Certainly, if they get
the Jets. No, look, if the Jets get Aaron Rodgers, it's the Jets.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even close. Like, of course, it's New York City, which always does well under the bright lights and everything else. It's a franchise that has been awful and now maybe should be good, but you don't know if they're going to be good because Aaron Rodgers wasn't that good last year. And the AFC East is incredibly good. Like, the AFC East feels so complete top to bottom. I mean, don't sleep on what the Dolphins have done. The Bills are now the Bills. And then you got the Patriots feeling like the people that are left out. So, yeah, if Rodgers goes to the Jets, it's without a doubt. But what if he doesn't? It does become a bit more interesting. I think he will. But if he does not, is it Saints over Jets then even?
Then you're going to see how much the world loves cougar hunting.
Yeah. I forget that he's still there. That Zach Wilson is still on the team.
Yeah. Going into year 3, right? Year 3.
A battle of the Mormons. Taysom Hill versus Zach Wilson. Who will be chosen to be on Hard Knocks?
Jamal Williams would another year. If he was fantastic.
Okay, you know what?
Last year.
My take about the Bears being more interesting is way off.
Yeah.
I think I was guilty of just falling into.
I think Taysom's got a great personality. I think a lot of people will be surprised by
Chicago as a city. And people do love to live kind of vicariously in New Orleans through media and whatnot. Okay. So, commies, you're way out. Bears are interesting, but maybe not as interesting as New Orleans Saints. And the Jets with Aaron Rodgers are probably option number 1. Okay, I think we figured it out. Man, but now you got me kind of excited, Jake. I just kind of thought this was Jets 1 done. Now I hope the New Orleans Saints get chosen. Because I don't really like – this is a Saints team where –
we don't get a lot of insight either, though.
We never get any insight.
Like, we don't get Mike Thomas.
Nope, nothing.
You know, we don't really get a peek behind what's going on in the inner workings of the Saints very often.
Airline, I mean, look at the Pelicans. Over there in Airline Drive, they put up a wall. And they very rarely let you peek behind the curtains unless things are all good or it's just some sort of like, softball media tour. So it would be great. And plus, like, I'm not someone who, if you have like a team that is, you think can really do something, you don't want the distraction of a Hard Knocks. I welcome the distraction of a Hard Knocks for the Saints team. Like, I don't actually care. Like, I don't have championship aspirations for this team. I think you win the NFC South.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to like become any sort of big deal. So no, I would love for the New Orleans Saints to be chosen and us get to really get pumped and get even more insight into this team entering the year.
Yeah, I think they would be a great choice, actually. I mean, the more you talk it out, the more you start to realize who they have on their team, the things that we don't typically get, and obviously, it being a pressure cooker situation for Allen as well. Like, there's always, that kind of fun aspect of
plays
it.
Great.
Yeah,
they're gonna. I mean, that's probably how you open the show. Well, no, you open with Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Right, you open with Derek Carr, find his way, but then you tie in the whole narrative of this ragtag group of if you want to really write it, this ragtag group of failures who've even failed together in the past, coming back together and trying to write their legend anew. And Dennis Allen and Derek Carr, can they get it done? We'll see, man. I'm excited to check it out, see where the NFL ends up going. Wow, just amazing black and gold takes right there, Jake.
I don't think I've ever heard any takes that are better than the two guys that just gave you that take.
And you can keep getting them by going ahead and liking, subscribing, ringing the bell to get notifications when we post. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next OTB Saints.